Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Leibovit at Leibovit VR Newsletters, and this is a Metastock update for Monday morning, November 24th. I'd like to wish you all a happy and healthy Thanksgiving holiday up ahead. This will probably be our only update this week. Personally, it's going to be a enjoyable break for me. Meanwhile, let's put up the disclaimer. This is a demonstration as designed is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features of the VR add-on software. Let's look at three situations this morning, not specific recommendations by any stretch, but just giving you a sense of where we're at on these. Whole Foods, as you know, has been a big winner for us. We've been looking for quite some time to see the gap filled. If you recall, had a big break in the stock here back in May when the street decided that the growth forecasts for the company were negative, and this is the weekly chart, but on the daily chart there was a gap here, and we've been talking for quite some time that we were going to come back and fill it. Unfortunately, it took a few months, but we were seeing accumulation patterns along the way, and indeed that gap was ultimately filled here. Most recent Leibovit positive VR occurred just before the big run-up. As you can see, there's been some nice correlation with follow-through to the downside and upside after VRs. The key, as you know, is I try to watch the 533 stochastic. If it's moving up, I tend to more likely take the trade for a positive VR and take the negative trade when the stochastic is going lower. Meanwhile, Whole Foods looks like it may trend higher here. I'm not chasing it, and ultimately could come back and fill this big gap in the low 40s. So got to keep your wits about you about Whole Foods, and it's certainly a company that I frequent quite often. Been into the health food area for quite some time. In fact, now even looking in marketing some health products that I very strongly believe in, but that's a whole other story. Let's look at Twitter. For those of you who track us at vrtrader.com, you know that we had a nice trade in it here a few days ago. The Leibovit positive VR came in, and we traded up into the low 40s, took about 4 or 5 points profit in it. There's a gap here that needs to be filled. The stock came down like Whole Foods on a negative story. Hopefully this won't take several months to fill that gap, but we are looking at a stochastic here that looks like it's oversold, so the play here would be to wait for another positive VR and a rising stochastic, and there should be some further play in Twitter. If it continues to go down, then we'll just have to wait for a future signal. And finally, let's put up Tesla, the big favorite among the bigger traders, currently in a downtrend. Leave a negative VR on Wednesday. It did move lower. Stochastic is lower, but starting to get a little oversold here. So we're going to keep a close eye on Tesla. Once we get a positive VR and a rising stochastic, we're going to be taking a look at it as it tends to follow through after signals, more or less. You can see here how these positive VRs work pretty well. This one didn't on a negative VR, but got you long right away. But nice to leave a bit positive VR back here, as you can see in October. Nice trend up, beautiful leave of a negative VR in September before it came down. So we're keeping a close eye on it. Perhaps it's going to go lower, maybe down to this 200-day moving average, which is way down here around 230 before it turns. But this is what we're eyeballing here, and we're trying to watch for a trading opportunity. So the long and short of it is that's it for this morning, to give you a little sense of a couple ideas that we're watching. Plenty more out there, of course. Again, have a pleasant holiday. Thanks for checking in.